a big 2 hours to come. It is Saturday night, so should we have some fun? I think so. Let's start with my big opinion. We are living in an age of intolerance. In 2024, if someone disagrees with you, not only is there a difference of opinion, you are a bad person. You are the enemy. The healthy competition of ideas has made way for cult-like ideologies, political scripture, unbending narratives, and tribal loyalties. Whether it's Brexit, pandemic measures, the conflict in Gaza, trans rights, net zero, there is a correct opinion and a wrong opinion. All of these issues are subject to the tyranny of what in most cases is a tiny minority. But the capture of our public and private institutions by bonkers progressive ideas like the idea that the West is shameful and our history is something to apologise for, the idea that you can change your biological sex like that, the idea that the planet's about to blow up next Tuesday, not to mention a total assault on rationality and science, all of this has been achieved without a single vote being cast. The woke mob, who reflect only a small portion of British public opinion, estimated by the politics professor Matthew Goodwin to be less than 10% of the population, dominate our politics, are rife in the public and private sector, and seem to enjoy a majority stake in our media. The latest is this extraordinary story in the Daily Telegraph, which reveals that the top Russell Group universities believe that the idea of the best person for the job is a microaggression. That's right, folks. Merit is dead, and being good at things is a bad thing. As far as I'm concerned, the downfall of the West can't happen fast enough. Bring popcorn. Our country is changing without public consent, and certainly without any public enthusiasm. Ordinary people across the land are sick and tired of living in a country where they're afraid of what to say or what to think. I predict there will be a cultural backlash, and it will eventually correct the other way, and we'll get back to normal. Common sense, the truth, facts will win. But without realising it, we've sleepwalked into a more serious and troubling crisis, one which is threatening the rule of law and our democracy. Whether it's Insulate Britain gluing themselves to the motorway and rather than being arrested asked whether they'd like a drink or a sandwich, whether it's dozy cops watching in silence as eco-protesters smash up the windows of bank headquarters, whether it's Islamic extremists chanting anti-Semitic slurs and literally projecting hate speech onto Big Ben, which we saw this week, the police and the wider criminal justice system appear to have given up enforcing the law or have indulged in a very forgiving interpretation of it. Labour MPs are now too terrified to vote against a ceasefire in the Middle East. Front benchers like Rachel Reeves, Wes Streeting and Angela Rayner are ambushed by aggressive extreme thugs because of their party's position on Israel and its right to self-defence. The Tory MP for the largely Jewish constituency of Golders Green is to stand down at the next election because of death threats. Another MP, Andrew Percy, said this week that he felt safer in Israel than in the United Kingdom. Jewish kids can't go to school wearing any religious clothing for fear of attack. Jews now avoid our major cities at the weekend when those so-called peace marches are happening. Now, many do march in peace. They want an end to the bloodshed, but too many do not. The ballot box has been replaced by activist politics and, frankly, anarchy. The Guardian newspaper published an opinion piece by Just Stop Oil encouraging protesters to turn up at the homes of MPs who do not comply with their radical and, let's be honest, harebrained agenda. We've got blasphemy laws now by the back door, not voted for by the British people. With a 14-year-old autistic boy in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, subjected to a terrifying kangaroo court after accidentally scuffing a copy of the Quran, as dozy local cops nod their heads in meek compliance. A schoolteacher in Batley, still on the run for showing an image of the Prophet Muhammad as an educational tool. And MPs didn't want to risk voting a certain way this week for fear of violence and reprisals. Not my words, the words of the leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer. That is what he told Speaker Hoyle, which saw the vote scrapped. Our laws, our traditions, our values and our democracy are being fatally eroded. The authorities are asleep at the wheel and a crash is coming. Soon, Britain will be a write-off.